Hello and welcome to the Grand Sports Center. I must apologize for coming a bit behind schedule due to some technical issues we were trying to resolve. Hopefully, thank God it's been done and we are good to go. It's always a pleasure to be here with you to talk sports and serve you the very latest in the world of sports. I am Donald Agbabubo. I'm flanked as usual by my colleagues Austin Arume. Austin, so welcome to the program today.
Pleasure, to be here.
And of course, Blessing Bassi.
It's good to be here.
We have a very interesting package for you. We shall be looking at the latest, at the outcome of the meeting between the Minister of Sport and the hierarchy of the Nigerian Football Federation yesterday as they tried to do a post-mortem on the match between Nigeria and Sierra Leone, with one of the fallouts being that the Minister, Sunday Dare, has charged the NFF to put their foot on the ground with regards to scrutinizing the work of Coach Grande to ensure better performance by the Super Eagles. Shall be talking about that. And also, continental football returns to Africa this weekend with 4 Nigerian teams taking part in various competitions. We have the CAF Champions League and we have the CAF Confederations Cup. Shall be talking about the Nigerian teams where we have Eyimba and Plateau United in the CAF Champions League and Kano Pillars and Rivers United in the Confederations Cup. And of course, some issues as regards Kano Pillars, the new coach Daniel Scalia, and Frenchman is coming to the team, but then things are not going too well. But then we shall be talking about that as they prepare for their match against Giraffe of Senegal this weekend. Also, we shall be looking at the FIFA ban placed on CAF President Ahmad says he's going to appeal the ban, which is normal. So we shall be talking about that, likelihood of his chances, his likelihood of getting a reprieve. Should he win the appeal. And of course, UEFA Champions League review. We shall be doing a review of UEFA Champions League matches that were played yesterday. Mike Tyson is in the news. He's 54 years old now. He's back. He'll be fighting this weekend against Roy Jones Jr. in an exhibition match. But he's been talking about his life as a boxer, saying categorically that probably he won the heavyweight title too early. He was 21 when he won the title in 1986. He said he came too early because then he was plagued by a lot of emotional vampires. Whatever it meant by that, we shall be talking about Mike Tyson. And of course, the Olympic Games was shifted from this year to next year in Tokyo, but still because of the coronavirus, but as of now, the coronavirus is still ravaging, especially in that part of the world where we've seen still a spike in cases in Japan, especially in Tokyo. But then the organizers of the games are saying that they are still hopeful of having a full house, talking about stadium packed full with spectators. How possible would that be given the time frame between now and July when that competition holds, which is just about 7-9 months away? So we shall be talking about that. Plus, a look at the Super Eagles players who have been doing well, who are in the news on Super Eagles Watch. And today in Sports Issue, where we serve you some of the big events that happened in the history of sports on this particular day, overtime, the 25th of November. These and more we have for you on the program, so sit back while we'll try to spice up your day with the remaining time we have on the program for today. We'll take a short break, and when we return, we'll go straight into the real business of the day. Welcome back to the Grand Sports Center, and straight away we go into the outcome of the meeting between the Minister of Youth and Sports Development and the NFF officials yesterday. The minister has challenged the NFF officials to hold Coach Grande to higher standard. Well, without going into more details into what they said, the main issue is that it was centered on Nigeria's poor performance against Sierra Leone, with Grande being the main culprit. The minister has been talking since the game about getting more from Grande and him taking responsibility for what happens. And now with the meeting yesterday, which was the post-mortem, following the technical report that was released concerning that match, and then they're telling the NFF to do the needful. This Grande issue is actually coming up now because we know that Eagles didn't do too well in that match. But is it something that is really, really justifiable, given the fact that Electro has done well in the past, qualified, like we've always said, qualified us for two major tournaments, the AFCON and the Nations and the World Cup. But then with this development, are we not actually overreacting?
I think in a way, I think we are overreacting. Raw as a coach has done, well in the past. You cannot use two results, this particular result, to judge a coach performance. And considering the fact that he has done well in the past, I believe there's need for everybody to come together, instead of making these feuds out of
Fine.
the whole
Everybody come
situation.
together, and that is actually what the minister stressed. He's just doing his job. He's the person in charge of sports. It's his duty to ensure that everything goes well. Well, he's not saying sack and draw. Actually, he's just saying monitor and ensure that he performs on his job. So the minister is just doing his job. Really?
Of course, he's just doing his job. It's good, you checkmate what Genetro has done so far. Judging by the fact that he's been here for a while, and he has made several, wins for Nigeria, not just because, like I said before, this is just a phase. If a coach does well, you obviously praise him, but if he doesn't do well, you put so much blame, and we are not patient enough. We need to be, we need to give him some time. In fact, even if his contract expires, there's need, to extend it, and give him it.
They just extended his contract not too long ago. But then this jolt, you needed the jolt. Probably Genetron needed the jolt, and that's what. Since the minister saw that the NFL was not doing it, because to be frank, after the match, after the outcome of the match in Benin, when talks of Genetron, when issues were raised concerning his contract and getting him back online to ensure that he does the job. The NFF president, Amadi Pinnick, was quick to defend the fact that they cannot even do anything to Genetro, even if anything happens, something like sacking him, because he just signed the contract. That was his reply, which means that there's already a defense mechanism in place for Genetro staying on the job. Nobody is saying that he should be sacked, but the minister is just saying that even if he has a running contract that you cannot just terminate just like that, but then you need to actually get him to understand the enormity of the job he's doing. If he has been very much relaxed since he has done so well in the past, probably he has not let down his guard. So that's what the minister is doing, and he's saying that he as the person in charge of sports in Nigeria will have to ask the tough questions, and he needed the NFF also to do that. But then something positive came out of the match, out of the meeting, because the NFF is already taking action already. Amadi Pinnick, the NFF president, has already said that there's going to be a change in the administrative structure of the Super Eagles. Before now it was like the Eagles were just there, going to throw as a technical advisor, was in charge of everything, and there were no specialists in different fields, as you have in most teams. But with this meeting yesterday, following the charge by the minister, the NFF president has revealed that there's going to be changes in administrative structure, which will see a physical trainer being employed, which take charge of the physical fitness of the players. A nutritionist also comes in that will ensure that the right food is eaten by the players. Then, of course, a psychologist, and of course, and also 2 match readers. We're not going to throw out a match reader. Probably it's not doing. I mean, not that it's not doing the job. We need more, because there's limited number of matches you can actually study before a match. Probably if you have more people, you can study a wide range of matches involving that particular team, and all of you come together with your own judgment and way forward. So this development, something positive has already come out of that meeting.
Yeah, I believe so. But one thing I must say is the fact that you have Genegro as a technical advisor, but then you cannot just give a job to a coach and then you are dictating for that particular coach what you do. But nevertheless, I think at this particular point in time, Genedro has to listen to, opinion, because just like the popular saying, no man is an island. So he does not have that monopoly of knowledge when it comes to understanding the understanding of the game. So at this point in time, it's a very good one, a very good step, from the ministry and the NFF, this kind of thing is what we should be doing, not putting everything in front of the coach. The coach is the one doing everything.
And everything.
Yeah.
And
so at this point in time,
they are
it's a very good
specialists in various.
decision.
And to be frank with for the sake of records now, in 1994, when Nigeria won the African Cup of Nations in Tunisia, and then went on to play in the World Cup, when we were rated fifth in the world, we were ranked fifth in the world at that time. That was the highest ranking we ever attained on FIFA ranking. The team had a psychologist, Robinson Okosun. He's still in the NFF for today. He's still there in the NFF. You go to the NFF, you see Robinson Okosun. He works in the NFF. He's a trained psychologist. He's a qualified psychologist. He was part of that team at 1994, and the effect of his presence in that team is there to see. That team, people still say that's the best team we've ever assembled, but then it's a question of debate. It's open to debate any day. But then we can't take away the achievement of that team. They won the African Cup of Nations in Tunisia. They played in the World Cup, qualified Nigeria for the first time in the World Cup, and we were ranked. They played so well that they were ranked number 5 in the world, the highest Nigeria has ever attained in terms of FIFA ranking. So the fact that NFF is looking towards that direction, bringing more specialists and including psychologists, probably this is the way to go. What do you think?
Well, I think that's a step in the right direction. If all these things are basically going to be in place, it's going to really go a long way. We have to provide all these things. If we want to do like the foreigners, we should completely do these things and put these things in place. If it's not even about the coach right now, we need to build our team, put the coach in the right direction, not just like Austin said, allow him to just do his whole own thing. He's working with couple of other exactly.
That's what the
so
NFF, the minister actually saying, that the NFF should actually guide him and make sure that as the terms spelled out in his contract is adhered to strictly. And such terms also include having to develop the local game, watch Nigerian league, and so that brings another direction. Another thing I forgot about. It also, the new regulations also include having to include 2, 3 or 4 local players in any Super Eagles squad. It was up, and he can only do that if he stays there and watch the league. So if this has been part of his contract, why has he not been doing it? Why has the NFL not been enforcing it? Those are things the minister is saying, and I'm sure that, like you're saying, this is the right step to go.
Obviously, that shows that he has not been following the
terms of the contract.
League exactly, and the terms of the contract. If he has been doing that, because we have prolific players, we have players in the local leagues. If he has been, he'll be able to pick 1 or 2 or 3 players from there. I know that okay, this international player is obviously not ready to play, and you just use the best available players present, and they work together as a team, and obviously we won't be here talking about this whole issue.
Yes, indeed, and it's a good thing. I think this is one of the few occasions when Nigeria has really played a match, not a tournament. After tournaments, there's usually a post-mortem report of Nigeria's performance comes out, and decisions are made based on that report. But this is just one match, and there's just so much so much talk, and it's good to know that with just one match, Nigerians can actually be so dissatisfied, and as a result, we want to get those involved working, charge them to step up their game if they are feeling contented with the present situation. Nigerian fans are not contented, and the minister is actually speaking the mind of most Nigerian fans. But then, not everybody is totally castigating Grande, if not anybody but Austin Okocha, former Super Eagles captain, the legendary Austin Okocha, is saying has given Grande a pass mark. He says he will rate him 7/10, which is a pass mark any day.
Yeah.
And so, what do you make of this?
I think all that is due to the fact that we've been saying it over time. In a statement, he said that's going to grow now, that inherited an abandoned team. That was what J.J. Okocha said.
When Antonio left,
so he abandoned the team. So Grande came, he picked the team up, he steadied the ship. So you cannot just, because of the fact that the result didn't go in our way for a particular game against Sierra Leone, and we all know what's happening in the world of football right now. So you cannot just because of that and say you want to sack Grande. So if you are giving him, if is coming from JJ Okocha, giving him 7/10 now. It means Genetro has done so well in his position. That's in his view.
And he also says Austin Okocha is also not. He says the fact that he was given a new contract, he's also down with it. That he has done very well, just like Austin pointed out. Like we've been saying, qualified us for the Nations Cup, qualified us for the World Cup. Austin Okocha is saying that the new contract given to him, a new 2-year contract was signed, a new 2-year contract not too long ago, that it was justified.
Of course, I go with Austin Okocha. You know, it's not actually fair if you just criticize Kenneth Roy just like that, especially with the performance, what he has done in the past, especially in the past 4 years, you know, with Nigerian Super Eagles. We should give him a pass mark.
Yeah.
Yes, we should give him a pass mark.
And also we should also know that nobody's actually calling for the sack of Kenneth Roy. Though some people are calling, but I think the main talk, the crux of all this talk about Kenneth Roy centers upon giving him a jolt to make him sit up if he's feeling relaxed, because that's what Nigerians have observed. That like the team is just playing to gallery, they feel they can always score, because they've always had it easy. But now I'm sure he knows that it's not going to be easy. I don't think he has ever felt the wrath of Nigerians as much as he has this time. With just these 2 matches in 3-4 years he's been in the country, he has not felt the wrath of Nigerians as much as he has with these 2 matches against Sierra Leone. I'm sure that if he was feeling relaxed, he'll be having a rethink and thinking of how to make the team better subsequently. So much about Genetro and the Super Eagles. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we're talking continental football. 4 Nigerian teams playing the continent this weekend. We have Kano Pillars and Rivers United playing the CAF Confederations Cup, and Eyimba and Plateau United playing the CAF Champions League. But particularly, there's something happening in Kano Pillars that we'll be talking about. We'll save you that after this short break. Welcome back to the Grand Sports Center. Moving on, Coach Lionel Emmanuel Sokoy, I hope I got it right, the French coach contracted by Kano Pillars for this season to help them prosecute their continental assignment to the CAF Confederations Cup. As you know, CAF has a new regulation that says that any team playing on the continent must be handled by a coach that has a CAF Grade A license. So most coaches in Africa, not just Nigeria, they have the CAF C license, some have the B. Rarely you have the ones that have the A license. So, but CAF wants the best coaches to play in the CAF, to be in the CAF Champions League, to actually improve the standard of the league. So for this season, many Nigerian teams have had to go for coaches that have the CAF A license. So Kano Pillars went the French way, as they went to contract a French coach, Emmanuel Sokoy, who until coming to Nigeria was in South Africa as coach of a Black Leopards. He was there until September of last year. So, but then, since it's coming in, it has not been too easy. It has not been going too well in terms of results for Kano Pillars. They've been playing series of friendly matches, and one of the club board members, Ahmed Tijani, has actually come out to criticize the fact that the coach, the club went to contract this coach, because he said since he came in, results have not been good. They've lost series of friendly matches, 5-0 to Nasarawa United, 1-1 with an academy team. For a team playing in CAF competition, you expect better. But then, Ahmed Tijani wasn't the part of the board that took the decision to contract the coach in the first place.
Maybe he was there and probably he was against it. I don't know. yeah, for the fact that he's the only one coming out to speak against the appointment of the coach. It shows there's a discontent somewhere, in his mind. But then we're talking about a coach. A lot of people have been talking about how poorly, Kano Pillars have performed in the preseason. They lost to Nasarawa United 5-0 for a team that is going to represent Nigeria in the continent. I think 5-0 against Nasarawa United is a very, very poor result.
And they also lost yesterday
Yeah,
again, a friendly match to Nasarawa United by 2-1.
Yes, so at this particular point in time, I think it shows, just like we're talking about Rod the other time, he's not actually, connecting with, those around him. Probably he's trying to take the team.
I'm talking about
make
connecting.
a lot of changes.
Talking about connecting.
Yeah.
Let me just take you there. Talking about connecting. Maybe I'll come to Blessing. Talking about connecting with the other members of the team. He's new to the team. Like Austin said, there's need for him to connect with people he met on ground. And but then former Super Eagles player Ifeanyi Odeze has already talked along that line, saying that what he feels the coach should do is to actually work with those on ground, because they will know the players better since he is new and not. So do you see the problem with Kano Pillars as likely being the fact that maybe the coach is trying to come in to force his way and not taking time to listen to those that he met on ground to get a real idea of what the team is, because the results actually is alarming. 5-0, even on normal day, Kano Pillars wouldn't lose to Nasarawa United. But then, could this be the reason why the team has been doing too badly?
Well, if you ask me, I won't blame the coach totally, because this is someone who is coming in where you're supposed to, put terms on ground and said, okay, this is how things are being run, or let him know who to liaise with. He knows as a coach, obviously, that he was supposed to work with the team on ground. Yes, but at the same time, looking at Kano Pillars' performance, this is a coach that is coming in, and you cannot compare a pre-season most times to the actual season. If Kano Pillars is losing now, doesn't obviously mean that when the game starts fully, they will lose.
Yes, that's it. That's another big point. Pre-season probably mainly is to prepare teams, not we should be more concerned about the results and thereabouts. So, is Tijani Ahmed, the board member, and some other people who have been actually calling for the head of the coach, really overreacting? Maybe that what overreacting is like he's becoming very recurrent in Nigeria now.
Yeah. So if you want to say preseason, the essence of preseason is so you can assess your team, going into the new season. So if you are performing badly, in the preseason, you know. If you are doing well, even if you are losing, you can take 1 or 2 positives, out of a particular preseason. But then losing 5-0, 5-0 in a preseason match, I think you need to reassess yourself.
I think that one is even against Nasarawa United, but yeah. they played an academy team. They drew 1-1. But well, we'll not dwell on that. Preseason is meant to prepare your team. That's why it's called preseason. It's part of the preparation of the team. So the main thing starts when the league starts. But unfortunately for Nigerian teams, the league has not started, and they have to play continental football. So preseason has been the only preparations they've actually had. So talking about the continental football this weekend, Kano Pillars, who I've been talking about, will be they should be on their way to Senegal, because their match against ASC Giraffe of Senegal is on Friday. And ASC Giraffe is the most successful team in Senegal. So it's a very big team they're playing against. And on the back of the poor results they've been having, we just hope that they're able to get it right. So given the fact that they're playing a very strong team, and the results they've been having, would the results serve as motivation for them, or something that would demoralize them? Because, like we said, it's just preseason. Probably the matches they've played have been able to identify their fault, which will now be rectified when they play AS0. So do you fancy their chances in Senegal?
Of course, they're playing a more different, team. So I believe they should, learn from especially the games they've played so far. Judging by their performance, they should know that they're playing, outside what they played at home. So they should, take that opportunity and perform even better, against Giraffe. second half.
Rivers United is the other Nigerian team in the CAF Confederation Cup, and they're also playing away in the Equatorial Guinea to Futuro Kings. We don't know much about Futuro Kings, but then Rivers United, they won the Governor Wike preseason tournament. At least their own preseason has been a bit better, and so it's so unfortunate that preseason is the only matches these Nigerian teams have played, and so the chance of Rivers United again.
I think Futuro Kings, as they are called, they are not a well-known side. I don't know. Maybe they can surprise Rivers United in this particular game. But then, Rivers, they are a strong side. They have a strong backing, and the players they have, the quality in the squad. I believe this is a game.
And they have continental experience.
Yeah, they have continental experience.
Champions League
Exactly. So I believe this is a game they can actually scale through.
What about Eimba? Eimba will be going to Burkina Faso to play against Raima, the same team they beat in this competition last year. So we talked about it earlier about revenge. It's Raima, this is a dangerous one for them because Raima wants to revenge, and Eimba too. The preparation has not been too top notch. Though they won the Governor Azul preseason tournament, so they always win their governors competitions. So, but then this is CAF Champions League. Eimba's chance against Raima. What do you think, Blessing?
Well, Eimba's always been. They have a good squad. They have always been performing well, even in the CAF Champions League in recent times.
They've won it twice in the past.
Exactly. Yeah. So I believe that Raima should not be a scare for them.
Okay. What about Plateau United? Plateau United too. They've not added too good too. Nassau United beat them as well in preseason. So Nassau United is like, we're just dealing with our continental teams in preseason. but that's a team to watch out for when the league starts because they've had a very good preseason, to be frank. But then Plateau United will be playing against a very tricky opponent, Simba of Tanzania.
Yeah.
Tanzania, last week, Simba played in Tanzania League, which has started. They played away from home and won 7-0.
Yeah.
So what do you think Plateau United's chances?
I think this is where I'm a bit, skeptical, considering the fact that when you talk about Champions League experience, continental experience, the Simba side, they have more experience. They've played 12 games, and they've been up there, let's say in the Champions League. But in contrast, you have a Plateau United team who have played four games in the Champions League, though they won the 3 and they lost 1. And those 4 games were actually in the preliminary rounds, and they were kicked out of the tournament by Etoile de Sahel. And then I won't blame them because Etoile was actually a big team. They are a team to beat any day, anytime when it comes to the continental front. But at this point in time, with actually a bad preseason, and now you're playing against a team that has been playing competitive football. So this is where I'm actually skeptical.
But then the good news is that Plateau United will play in Jos, the newly built Jos Township Stadium, because initially CAF asked them to play in Bauchi because the stadium was not up to the standard required. But latest inspection showed that the CAF has given the go-ahead for them to play in Jos. So when they're playing at home, probably that will be a moral booster for them to have a good result against Simba. We wish the 4 teams playing on the continent very good luck as they go and represent us on the African continent. It's still the Grand Sports Center. We'll take another break, and when we come back, we go to Europe and talk about UEFA Champions League and some very interesting things happening. There's a guy called Erling Brot Haaland. He's breaking records left and center. He scored 2 goals for Dortmund against Bruges as they beat Bruges 3-0, and that was his 16th goal in the tournament in 13 matches. He's just 20 years old, approaching 21. He's become the youngest player to score that number of goals in the Champions League, and honestly, he keeps on breaking. He has scored 7 goals in 6 matches for Norway. He keeps on breaking the records. We shall talk about him just as we analyze the matches of the UEFA Champions League of last night after this break. Welcome back to the Grand Sports Center. Next, we'll talk the UEFA Champions League. But before then, let's quickly mention what we said at the beginning, during the introduction. We talked about the fact that suspended CAF President Ahmad, who plans to appeal the suspension by FIFA, and is within his purview, is within his right to appeal, and it remains to be seen what comes out of that appeal. But then the fact is that Ahmad remains suspended, and instead we have the Vice President Constant Omari taking charge of CAF for now. We won't talk more about that issue because we've dwelt on it for a very long time yesterday, and we just hope that at the end of the day, whatever happens, should Ahmad be able to regenerate himself, all well and good for African football, because the bad light that has brought us, which means that it will no longer be there. But then, should he not be able to prove his case, then the law takes its course, which means that he will be kicked out as president of the Confederation of African Football. We'll go straight to Europe, where matches were played in the UEFA Champions League last night, and we have some very, very interesting results. Lazio beat FC Zenit St. Petersburg by 3-1. Borussia Dortmund also beat Club Brugge by 3-0, which means both teams are through to the knockout stage of the competition from that group. Barcelona also went through to the knockout stage, beat Dynamo Kiev 4-0 away from home in Kiev. Their league form may not be too good, but then in Europe they've been very, very excellent. 4 wins out of 4. Juventus added the hard way. They came from a goal down to beat Ferencváros 2-1. Cristiano Ronaldo and Alvaro Morata were in that match. Let me quickly also add that Barcelona achieved that feat against Dynamo Kiev without Messi. So Messi was dropped from the match, and probably this is a new direction the club should be thinking of. Maybe without Messi the team plays better, who knows? I'm just thinking, I'm not saying anything. Well, Manchester United also did very well, beat Istanbul Başakşehir by 4-1. Paris Saint-Germain had a laboured 1-0 win over RB Leipzig, goal scored by Neymar from penalty spot. Chelsea went to France and got the better of Stade Reims by 2-1. Krasnodar lost at home to Sevilla. Chelsea and Sevilla also through to the knockout stage of the competition. Those were the results from last night. But then I was talking about Messi initially not playing for Barcelona, and Barcelona taking a 4-0 win. What does this mean?
I think this is what we all have been actually waiting for. You know, playing against the Dynamo Kiev side, we know how good they are in Europe. You know, they can hold their own against any team. Then playing against Dynamo Kiev without Messi, you know, I think is the right step. You know, planning for life without Messi. That is all we have been saying.
Planning for life without Messi, but it doesn't seem the Barcelona hierarchy are thinking along that line, because one of the candidates for the elections coming up in March, talking about president elections for Barcelona, Victor Font, is already talking about how he wants to get Messi to stay, if possible, get Pep Guardiola to come in. So using the return of Pep Guardiola to convince Messi to stay. So while we are looking at Barcelona winning without Messi, I was fine, probably they can start looking along that line. But then those in Barcelona are still looking at keeping Messi. What is this? Why can't Messi? Why can't we just have Barcelona without Messi? Nobody seems to be even thinking along that line.
Honestly, this controversial Messi and Barcelona is like husband and wife that cannot do without each other. It's just very funny, and he has a lot of fans. Those ones who want him to stay, and those ones who wants to put people that will attract him to stay. Oh well, Messi has right to also make his decision. If he wants to go, fine. But if he wants to stay, but looking at it right now, I think Messi still belongs to Barcelona, if you'd ask me at this point.
And you can understand why, because in 10 years, this man has scored 640 goals in just 742 games for Barcelona. So you can understand why they do not want to let him. Won the Ballon d'Or 6 times, so Messi. But then Barcelona are in a very tricky situation. His contract ends next year, and by January next year, he will be free to talk to any team that will be willing to come for his services, which means Barcelona are really playing a very, very dicey game in an attempt to keep on to Messi. As some people will say, why don't you sell him and make all the money you want to make? Because from January, when he starts talking to other teams, as his contract stipulates, allows him, he will go on a free transfer at the end of the day. Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed. And still talking UEFA Champions League, another interesting development was the win by Borussia Dortmund. They beat Club Brugge 3-0. But then the big thing was that their striker, Erling Brut Haaland, the 21-year-old, 20-year-old Norwegian, is ticking all the boxes as most likely becoming the person that will take over from Messi and Ronaldo. Even Messi did not achieve what he achieved at this age. But so far, so good. He has scored 6 goals in his 7 appearances for his country, Norway. In just 7 appearances, he has scored 6 goals. And also, he has made 13 appearances for Borussia Dortmund, his club, this season, and he has scored 17 goals in 13 appearances already. And just like, don't forget that last season he was transferred um, from um, from his Austrian club to Borussia Dortmund. And between Red Bull Salzburg, where he was in Austria, and Borussia Dortmund, he played 40, 40 matches and he scored 44 goals. 44 goals for both teams last season. And he just became the first player under the age of 21 to score 16 goals in the Champions League. That's as at 20 years of age, he has become the first player to score 15 goals. Messi, as at 20 years of age, had not scored 16 goals in Champions League. Ronaldo, as of 20 years of age, had not scored 16 goals in Champions League. Erling Brut Haaland has scored 16 goals in 20 years of age. Why am I taking pains to read this dossier, CV, profile of this young player? Because at least for once, it's like attention is beginning to shift from we've been so used to Messi, Ronaldo dominating the headlines in the last 10 years or thereabouts. It's good to see a breath of fresh air with Holland. It appears that this is the next big thing in world football.
I don't know, but what I can see at this point in time is, he's doing well, he's playing well. I just want to add that we have a certain time when we're talking about Kylian Mbappe, in this light. So I believe, it's too early, to start comparing him, taking over, talking about him taking over from Messi and Ronaldo.
It's not too early. You know why it's not too early? Because Ronaldo is 34 years old. Yeah. Messi is 33. So, and we watch them play. Yeah. We know that they are not at the level that they used to be. Yeah. And for now, it's like there's a void waiting to be filled. You mentioned Kylian Mbappe. Yeah. Kylian Mbappe is still there in the question. So it's good. We're going to have the Haaland. We're going to have the Kylian Mbappe. There's even the Pedri, the Barcelona young boy that is playing for Barcelona first team that reports say Messi has taken under his wings to actually tutor him. Pedri, if you watch him play, he's also a very good footballer. So there are a lot of players coming in. So it's good for world football at least to have a change. And for the sake of change.
Of course, it's not surprise to me. A youngster is coming up. If we want to talk about him, let's talk about him. Let's be happy for him. It's not surprise to me. That's how the likes of we got to know Messi and Ronaldo and the
took the world by storm at a very young age.
Exactly.
But then what we are saying is that people are so used to Messi and Ronaldo. They don't want to believe that there's a better player than them can never come up. Just like people that are so addicted to Pele. Yeah. When Messi and Ronaldo came, they kept on. When Maradona came, they kept on insisting that it was Pele was the best because of that addiction. Now Maradona came, then you have Ronaldo and Messi. People are not ready to let go of that attachment to them. But the truth is that this young man, Erling Brut Haaland, has broken all the records Messi and Ronaldo did not break. If at the age of 20 he's scoring this much, you can imagine. And they say at this age he's still learning the game. I wonder what he's still going to learn. By the time he finishes learning the game, I wonder how many goals will be scoring. Well, this is still the Grand Sports Center. We'll take another short break. When we come back, we'll talk a little about Mike Tyson, who has been talking about not the fact that he won the World Heavyweight title at a very young age of 21 may have come too soon because he didn't help him in life. We'll talk about that after this break. It's still the Grand Sports Center and talking boxing now. I actually made a mistake when I was doing the intro. Tyson was actually 20 years old. So, like Tyson, like Brute Allen. So, you see, at the age of 20, so many things happen. When people start eating it big at the age of 20, know that they are set for stardom. So, in 1986, Tyson won the world heavyweight title at the age of 20, and he's saying he's 54 years old now. And looking back at his career, he says the world heavyweight title arrived too early, as he was weighed down by so many emotional vampires. Whatever I mean by that vampires, it may have to do with whatever led to his having to go to jail and having issues with his finances later on in life. We know the background of Tyson and everything, and coming at this time when he's preparing to fight an exhibition match on Saturday against Roy Jones Jr., who is also 51 years old, and is talking, reminiscing about his career. And what would you say? Is it could it be that it has to do with his upbringing, or the fact that actually at that age people can't really handle stardom? So maybe we start putting an age barrier to competing in at the highest level. What do you make of it?
Yeah, at this particular point in time, that's what we're talking about. A psychologist. You know, there's something. It depends on your personality. At 20, a certain person might be able to manage stardom, but then there are some certain group of individuals who can't manage stardom. So it depends on your person. So at this particular point in time, maybe he was overwhelmed by the fact that at 20 he was already world champion. So
and apart from that, he had a mentor in Coach D'Amato, the man that actually picked him up from the street and took him to the boxing gym to train him up. Coach D'Amato died somewhere along the line. He only became before he became world champion. Many people still feel that if Coach D'Amato was alive, he wouldn't have undergone the kind of issues he had in life. He had to go to prison. He had drug-related issues and thereabout. So, issue of mentoring at this point in time for these youngsters. We're talking about Brute Allen. Now he's still young. He's lucky. He has a father. His father played football. Who played for Leeds United at some point. So probably he may have a very good guardian on how to go about, how to keep his head level. And but then for so many other kids, they may not have it. They may be good talent. Because we have many talented sportsmen and women who never made it big. Not because they didn't have the ability, but because somewhere along the line, they lost the plot. So how important is mentoring? Even Tyson mentioned the issue of mentoring. Why talking?
Well, making it at this age is not really an issue for me. We talked about Ellen Brutal, and this is a point where I'm sure most of these things brought out is brought into limelight, but it's a good thing to start at an early age, and at the same time, anyway, I kind of feel that this thing, what Tyson was actually saying, is obviously to make news or to revisit some issue. That's what I feel right now, because I don't see any reason why he's talking about the fact that making it at that age was he was
Anyway,
young making it.
anyway, he's due to fight at the age of 54 this weekend against Roy Jones Jr. What is termed an exhibition bout, and people actually are looking forward to seeing the organizer says it's an exhibition bout. People are really looking up to see Mike Tyson his usual self. I wonder why people, sportsmen, when they just stick to you, they still want to see you at that level you were. Don't know that this guy is 54 years old. Probably you may not be able to even throw a punch as hard as he used to. Well, we wish Tyson well. It's good that to know that he's back, he's living a clean life, and he's putting his life, the pieces of his life, back in order. We have run out of time on the program. We would have talked about the fact that the Tokyo 2021 Olympics now, because it will move from 2021 to 2020. The organizers are still saying that they expect fans to be at the stadium. How they are going to achieve that, I'm sure they are going to work it out, because there's a spike in coronavirus cases in that part of the world, but then they are hoping that they will still be able to admit record crowd into the stadium. So by Ghost Watch, we can't take it for today, but just to let you know that Moses Simon is back, is in line to return to action. Because of injury, he missed the Nigeria versus Senegal match. He was invited, then was replaced because of injury, but then he's back. Nets will be playing Olympic Marseille this weekend, and Simon is said to be coming back for that match. And also, um, Samuel Kalu picked up an injury. He came back from injury, picked up an injury last weekend in their match against Rennes, but then they said the injury was not as serious as the previous one. By next week, he will miss this weekend's match, but by next week, he should be back in action. Alex Iwobi is still relishing the fact that he plays at right wing back for Everton, and he says that he has a lot to learn if he has to continue in that position. Then for Victor Osimhen, good news is that he is likely expected to return this weekend for Napoli. So, which means good news for Nigeria, good news for um, Napoli. His agent, William de Avila, has said he expects Nigeria International to be involved in some capacity when Napoli take on Roma on, on the 29th, which is this weekend. So, we wish him well, and we will be good to see Osimhen back to action. This is where we wrap it up on the show this morning. We hope you've had a nice time with us. We'll be back same time, same station tomorrow with another interesting edition. And as usual, we always look forward to having you join us once again. I'm Donald Agbabobo. Let me quickly thank Austin Arume for being part of today's show. And Blessing Basi.
Thank you.
On behalf of all of us and the entire production crew, enjoy the rest of the day.